ChatGPT is sitting at over 900 million global users currently, of which around 95% are unpaid. They were hemorrhaging money. I think it was a loss of 4 or 5 billion last year. So hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the ProfileTree Podcast. So this week we are going to be talking about a fairly major update in the world of digital and AI. They've finally done it. ChatGPT are officially introducing ads. I suppose it's something that we all saw coming, guys. I think it was always going to happen.
Yeah, never a question of if, only when. And yeah, we'll get into that too, especially looking at what their revenue's been like over the last couple of years, that they had to put something on the table.
I agree, yeah. Like, usually with everything, it goes down to how do we monetize this now? Now that we've got it popular and everyone's using it, how do we monetize it? Even more so.
Yeah, exactly. And I think I read some of the stats, like ChatGPT is sitting at over 900 million global users currently, of which around 95% are unpaid. So they were, like, as you say, Marcus, they were hemorrhaging money. I think it was a loss of 4 or 5 billion last year. So at basically no matter what,
amounts, yeah. It's huge. They've been putting a lot, investment wise as well in their company into different technologies too, because they have to really stay ahead of the game in this sector. But the amount of money that they're hemorrhaging from essentially just free usage that they're giving to people, it's not really sustainable.
And I think, no matter what their values as a company in terms of what they want to do and what they've been trying to achieve, at the end of the day, like, it all does come down to pennies and pounds. So it's not surprising at all. Like, in terms of what it's going to look like, they've confirmed that ads are only going to appear for free and Go tier users. So I think ChatGPT Go has been launched in over 170 companies globally. And it's, if I remember correctly, $8 per month. I mean, we've seen these kind of structures before when we look at companies like Netflix, where they are offering reduced rates to people who are willing to put up with ads, shall we say, in some cases. But obviously for users of ChatGPT Plus, Pro and Enterprise, subscriptions are going to stay ad-free, at least for now. Maybe we should say that. What are some of your thoughts on the pros? I suppose, yeah, let's start off with the pros of advertising on ChatGPT.
Yeah, well, I mean, anytime I talk to anyone who's maybe not in like the digital space that uses AI, like if I've maybe like AI search in Google or ChatGPT in general, like the main thing is just that you get instantly the answer you're looking for. So I suppose from a user experience point of view, if you're looking for a specific type of product, and bearing in mind that product's set up in a way that it's going to be found in ChatGPT, that way then there's a benefit there where, you're not spending a long time trying to find a specific product. You get it and you find it instantly. Or if you're looking for a very niche product, like maybe if you were trying to buy a wedding gift or something that's a wee bit more, something you spend a wee bit more time researching on, like Christmas gifts and that sort of thing. I think that is a big one with the ads. But
Yeah, no, for sure. I've even used it at times to help research certain types of products, including things like headphones, for example, peripherals. Whenever I want to, find, the best piece of kit to kind of use for my requirements and whatever specs that I need as well. And at least prior to ads anyway, I was already able to get, links out to, places where to find things at the best price and everything else in between. So it seems like a natural kind of move. So definitely a lot of use for at the customer level. And then I suppose that leads into, I think, where the biggest pro is going to come in is probably at the business level, although we'll see to what extent and how valuable that is compared to competitors doing the same thing. Because yeah, businesses have been trying to find a way to justify the effort into, appearing within AI kind of results at the moment. Up until now, it's not really too clear in terms of how that translates into revenue for a business by appearing there, or direct traffic, because people often just get the results that they want within the platform itself. Obviously leading into ads, that has a bit more potential now to rank for those. So obviously anyone doing anything over social or their websites, Now that potentially means that you have to put some more focus into answering questions, I suppose, and giving lots and lots of details to any of your products or services that you provide.
Yeah, definitely. And just to go back to your point, Marcus, like I absolutely have used ChatGPT in terms of sort of more personalized shopping experiences, will we say. Um, and I suppose the best thing is that you can give it absolute detail in terms of, the specific products you're looking for, brands that you might prefer, what your kind of budgetary limits are. And in that sense, it definitely is going to help users. I think for me, especially whenever I moved into a new house, there was so many things to buy and it was like overwhelming figuring out, okay, I want this within this budget or this within this budget. So that's a definite pro. Um, and I mean, arguably, especially from again the perspective of the user, AI ads could potentially lead to more refined targeting in terms of kind of removing the stuff that you definitely don't want, and showing people what they might actually want to buy. So I think, and not to quote Elon Musk, because I'm really begrudgingly doing so, but it's offering a problem to a solution. I think he maybe talked about ads on Grok, so it's giving people the exact answer that they kind of need to whatever they're querying.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I think that I think just to give some context and the build up to all of this as well. So it was announced on January 16th that they're testing the ads for ChatGPT for US free and Go users. Funny enough, when we were talking about this briefly earlier as well, Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI as well, articles can be found even back in May 2024 of him being quite adverse to that, quoted as saying, "I kind of hate ads as an aesthetic choice." Obviously, given some of the context we given earlier, the tune has changed there a little bit. But yeah, even there's some other hints even throughout the company. So OpenAI's CEO of applications, Vijay Simo, is an ex-Meta executive who built Facebook's news feeds ads, for an example. So there's always that little shit.
so whatnot.
Here's hoping. So yeah, there's always hints, especially for the big names that some of these companies are hiring about what focus and what kind of direction that they want to go on. I suppose just to list off, we've been talking about the ads for a bit, just to list off a couple wee facts about them. The ads are going to appear at the bottom of answers, clearly labeled as such. You can see this in the article that they have published as well. Responses won't be influenced by advertisers, supposedly. We'll see about that. Obviously, people raise their eyebrow at those kind of things, but we'll take them under good word for the meantime. User data won't be sold to advertisers as well, according to them. No ads for under 18s, no ads in sensitive topics such as politics, health, mental health, for example, and Plus Pro Business Enterprise tiers, they shall still remain ad free. So that's what they've come out with thus far. And yeah, as said, all we can do is take their word for the meantime on that. I certainly believe that they won't go changing anything model wise, given, I suppose, recent news over the last few months. They'll certainly want to be careful on the I suppose the responsibility of how it's all being used as well, just in regards to being careful about sensitive topics and anything related to minors and that as well. So hopefully they have taken a hint about be careful about those topics.
Yeah, could that have been an interesting topic because whenever I think that in the article, the way they phrase it, so it says during our test, we will not show ads. So I don't know if that means they're going to change their opinion on whether they show it for health and politics in the future. The other thing I thought was kind of interesting is the under 18 aspect. So the way they do that is it's based on the user's prompt. So if it's a younger person at the specific prompt, so again, it's not an exact science. You know what I mean? It could still be someone maybe doing GCSE level work or whatever, and they maybe just they're maybe asking prompts that make them seem older and they're modeling, so it's not perfect.
Oh yeah, you don't really input your age at any stage, really, with
You'll cover the age verification, I don't think, do they, compared to some other platforms? But I mean, even at that age verification, it's not the most perfect science, is it?
No, apparently they have added that. I didn't know that within ChatGPT, but I seen that when I was dipping into this because I was curious by how they would determine if someone was under 18 or not. And that's apparently there is an option inside of ChatGPT now to verify your age. But even still, I would just thought that was very interesting that they had during our test, rather than it being, this is the way it's going to be going forward. So I'm curious if thing will um, change that as it goes along.
Yeah, it's interesting. I watched a quick kind of ChatGPT ad summary of a YouTuber, and he kind of gave a good breakdown of the differences between, say, Meta ads, Google ads, and ChatGPT ads. He described Facebook ads as, you're effectively paying to interrupt people as they scroll, as in you're paying for attention. With Google ads, obviously you're paying per click, so that's more intent driven. What they're saying ChatGPT ads are going to be doing is combining the intent of Google ads with the hyper focused targeting of Meta ads, which I thought was quite an interesting way to describe it. It's almost taking those two ad models that we're all really familiar with and combining them into the two. So, I mean, it could be a potential recipe for success. I suppose we're not going to know until we see, the kind of full rollout post testing, but it certainly is going to be a game changer.
Just on that point, I did see that apparently the cost for like finding impression cost is going to be a lot higher for ChatGPT ads because they're anticipating that it's going to be a lot more focused. The way in the past, like with a Google, like say you had a Google Ads campaign running, you might have a lot of like 5 impressions because it's maybe a more generic term, where ChatGPT would be more hyper focused. So the intent with the ChatGPT is a lot more than what you would have got on maybe Meta or Google because it knows you so much more from all your other previous chat. So like it's not like officially reported, but the reports are showing like from other people that their cost per thousand click will be around $60, which is in the high range, but it's because it's so much more hyper focused. So your conversion rate is probably going to be higher. Obviously, this is all speculation until it happens, but the chances of you going through like a ChatGPT prompt to find a specific product and you're being so specific to then get a product recommended to you, the chances of you clicking through and actually completing the conversion are probably higher than if you were to do it in the traditional search because you've already dedicated time into the search process. So I am sure about that, what the conversion rate is going to be for it, because it could be a big thing for like e-commerce sites and the like, where it actually drives a lot of traffic. It already drives traffic already, but even more so. And I think like even some reports say like once they roll out, it might even have a conversational aspect to it. So the ad, you can actually chat to the ad, being like, "Oh, is this in blue? Can you get this in blue? Or is this available in this size?" And that so you kind of complete all the questions that you would ask before you even leave chat for recommending the product.
It really just shows how valuable information really is in all of this. Because essentially the longer you use your ChatGPT account, essentially as you build up more, I believe memories is the technical term that they like to use for it, but essentially, yeah, as this your account essentially as it learns more about you, it's far more than what Google can get information wise out of people really in terms of cookies and everything else in between. Far more active, and then when you add that personal touch of okay, now that you have what you're looking for, now you can ask questions about it. It is an insane amount of information just being used to give you a tailored kind of answer. And as we discussed, it is just an extra step essentially compared to what we had before, where you could be more direct and ask for recommendations of stuff. And I suppose that's just where I might raise an eyebrow and wonder what it would do in that scenario. Would it still give you your more accurate to the technical T kind of, recommendations, or would it lean then more towards an ad? That's the only wee question I kind of have for myself. We'll have to see how that plays out.
Yeah, I think I there was a CTO of a media company in the US, and he had published a LinkedIn article showing ChatGPT's response whenever he asked it if the platform should have ads. This is a couple of weeks ago. Um, I mean, unsurprisingly, Chat gave a very balanced response. It said, to summarize, basically, it said, I don't have personal preferences, but from a user-centric perspective, ads should be optional, transparent, and privacy respectful. If they're introduced at all, prioritizing user experience and trust is key. So just showing that it's classically on the fence about them, but sort of said that there should be a balanced approach. And like you said, Marcus, we'll sort of see over the coming weeks whether or not that is the case. What are both of your thoughts in terms of the potential impact on users? I mean, like from your perspectives or opinions, like do you think the ads are going to put people off using ChatGPT?
So I think it's gonna be split, I think, because there's a lot of people that are don't like any data being tracked about them, and there's a lot of people that are like, "I'll give you all my data as long as you give me the, like, as fast as possible." So, I think it can be really split that way because the fact of the matter is, the more data you give it, the better the answer's gonna be.
Mhm.
So if you use ChatGPT all the time, every day, it's gonna know you like back your hand, and then when you ask it for something, you're gonna get an instant response. So I think that's gonna be where it is. It's gonna be either people are like, I don't want to, I don't want to give my data if I'm not gonna use it, or I do want to and I'm gonna use it. So that, but I think it depends on if the person, what their opinion on their data being used or not.
We've seen in with Meta, I think it's the updates to EU legislation over the past couple of weeks. I don't know about you guys, but have you seen the prompt on your phones asking you if you want to either continue to use Meta for free or to start paying? I think
Oh
it
yes.
was small. It was something like 2.99 a month, to remove ads. And I'm in the latter of the two sort of groups of people you mentioned there, David, where I'm like, take my data as long as it's free. So I was like, "No, I'm happy to continue with ads." I mean, we've had them for so long now, it's you're just used to them. So it'll be interesting to see what the kind of numbers are, because obviously you kind of have two potentials where you see a lot of free users drop off, or on the flip side, ChatGPT manages to actually encourage more paid users. Obviously in this case, it'll have to be either the Pro Plus or enterprise subscriptions, but I am really curious as to how that's gonna turn out for them.
Yeah, I mean, there's even, as you mentioned, Meta there's similar models that you even see on traditional news websites as well. They often do the same thing too. It's all down to, I suppose from a business perspective, you know, getting a predictable revenue. So it's all just a subscription model, really, in any way that you can kind of perform that. If you can offer your service for free in some way, then you do to get people in, but you give them ads. If they use it frequently enough that now they're at the point of kind of don't want to see those ads anymore, I'll just go ahead and pay. Then, okay, cool, you've got them now, and you've converted that over. And there'll always be a kind of split and balance in there. I suppose in this case, it's really just going to be the typical one that people consider, because obviously if Chat GPT has been used by people for, getting tailored results, things specific to them and fact checking and everything else in between. Well, now there's, potentially a conflict of interest. Advertisers are paying for conversions. Essentially, this puts pressure for chat logs then to actually create some real world kind of purchases. Now, if it doesn't do that, then businesses won't be looking to keep using it as well. So it's just thinking about how that dynamic's going to play out. That's where I don't have the full trust yet at this stage. But again, we'll see how they implement that.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting, for businesses, especially like, I mean, a lot of our clients maybe wouldn't invest as much in paid advertising. We've always been, organic first, but those that do can have a bit of a nightmare at times. Even, from setting up and managing campaigns to optimizing campaigns. This is kind of, if they do choose to invest in ChatGPT ads, like you said, David, it's potentially going to be a lot more expensive, but it may also mean that it's not only taking away all that kind of faff around managing the ads, because the AI is effectively taking charge of all the audience targets and the demographics and things like that. Um, but again, if they do invest, could they see like a much higher return on their investment? So it could be a massive advantage to businesses and like a huge opportunity.
Yeah, because like what Mark said earlier as well, like they're not storing the chat log. They said they're not going to store any of that information. They're going to keep that private. If you're investing a high amount of money monthly into ChatGPT ads, you might want some of that data. Because I would say with like, in traditional sense, like Google ads, you would kind of get an idea what the queries were that people were searching for. So you have an idea, like say the conversion were great, you'd have an idea, right, I need to change my strategy here. So I know it's just a product in this instance, but I just wonder like how they will do that, because you can't really just take it away or give them any metrics. They'll have to give them something to
Yeah, search metrics and search intent. Yeah, that's definitely a key one. Yeah, obviously you don't have a keyword to go off of anymore now to base your
I want the search holiness and criteria for the product. Like there might be like you can't opt out. We can't offer this product in your ad in our ad program because it's not optimized. Or it doesn't have schema. It doesn't have this. It doesn't have that. Like all the other things that they kind of prioritize. I'm just trying to think because at the end of the day, if you give a blank page that had Apple or the whatever, like how could it really sell that? So I do think it is interesting. We'll see obviously as they start to come out with the stuff, but it'll be interesting to see how it kind of integrates and works. I think.
Yeah, I would say you're both absolutely spot on. Like at the end of the day, a lot of it will still come back to organic SEO. Like you don't want to click on a ChatGPT ad that leads you to exactly that, a page with an apple on it. There's no product description, there's no customer reviews or like product listing or anything like that. So yeah, there's still going to be a certain amount of SEO involved, or content marketing is still going to be key. But I'm very, very excited to see what happens. Obviously, ChatGPT being a major AI industry leader, do we, and maybe this is a rhetorical question, do we expect to see competitors follow suit pretty soon?
Well, there's been some rumors around Gemini and their introduction of it. They've denied them up until this point, but again, ChatGPT's own CEO did.
Yeah, I feel like anyone's gonna do it, Google definitely gonna do it.
Very much so, yeah.
Yeah, and Elon Musk's already sort of announced that Grok's going to display ads. Not that anyone's too concerned with Grok. But I also read something that said that Netflix is actually planning to show generative AI ads throughout streams in 2026. I That'll be really interesting to see what
Yeah, so far they have, a lot of them have gotten a lot of clashback. At least, especially in any of the realistic generative ones that have been done. There was the Coca-Cola ones, wasn't there, for Christmas that got called out,
Mhm.
where the truck
It could
looked
be
different
interesting
in every shot, and yeah.
because the way they changed Netflix changes the thumbnail based on like say you like a specific actor, it will show you the thumbnail with that actor in the movie. So it would be interesting maybe if say ad was able to you know pick an actor you liked or something. I don't know, but
Oh, you mean like the thumbnail, like A/B testing stuff that they do?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, to see if you'll click in and watch something when you see a different thumbnail. And I won't lie, I've almost been caught out, and I'm like, I've rejected this before. I definitely go want to watch this. It's only got 5.6 on IMDb.
the flurry to me in the movie for like 5 minutes, but you don't like that. You have to see what it is. But
Yeah, it's so true. It could go anywhere. I think there's hopefully it's a big opportunity for businesses, obviously from our perspective. Um, I think it'll be interesting to see kind of user experience feedback to see what people are finding with it. I think I think you'd sent over some screenshots of what the actual ads are going to look like, Marcus, and they are quite large if you're looking at it on a mobile screen. We'll see. I mean, I don't know.
well, I was shocked by your earlier statistic about 95% of you say 95% use the free account.
Yes, supposedly.
So that might push some to buy an account.
Or they'll get trapped and buy the Go account and then go, oh, just video bums for us.
either way, they've got the numbers to play with, at least. Like, what was it, 800 million weekly active users? Yeah. So like, yeah, they've got the numbers to kind of play with there. So even if they do dip down in usage, the people that do keep using it become more valuable, monetary, in terms of their monetary kind of value. And that's a key part of it as well, because they are not turning a profit at the moment. They need to switch that round. If that means making the people using it more valuable while reducing the amount of usage overall, that actually is a win-win for them, because that takes away from all of their resource usage that they're giving away for free, and it's meaning that the people that are using it, they're either now paying for a model or they're seeing ads, essentially. So yeah, it was, as we said at the beginning, it was a question of not if, only when.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, knowing OpenAI, if they do get a bit of like negative backlash over introducing the ads, they'll probably just throw out some amazing new feature to kind of appease the masses and think, yeah, we've got ads now, but here you can, I can't even think what they'll do next, but it could be anything. So yeah, I guess watch the space and we'll see what happens over the next coming weeks. Any final thoughts before we wrap up for this episode?
Yeah, I'd say if anybody watching here wants to comment themselves, let us know. Would you want to pay for ad-free AI? Are you happy maybe using the ads to begin with? You'll probably, like the rest of us, figure this out over time. A lot of people are wondering now if free AI assistant of the kind of free era that we had of AI assistants, is that going to be over now with ChatGPT, the kind of big one in the market now making this move? Typically expect others to follow suit if they haven't already, do the same thing. As we talked with Gemini, we suspect that'll do the same thing. Google currently takes in, what is it, over 200 billion of ad revenue, I think is the estimates for last year. They would love to increase that, and they want to make sure, obviously, that their ads stay valuable. So if they can extend it to be valuable in 2 platforms, that would be an easy win for them. So yeah, definitely keep a wee eye on how things develop in the coming weeks and months.
Yeah, I would agree. Like ChatGPT is the guinea pig, so we'll just see what. Yeah, that's just
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, guys, for your time. And thanks for watching another episode of the PT podcast.